Hello students, let us begin with Unit 2, that is major agricultural types in the world. I am Dr. Deepali Bhide, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Geography, DG Ruparel College, Mumbai. So in this topic, we will be discussing about subsistence agriculture, commercial agriculture and their subtypes. And we will also take a look at the distribution of major crops in the world. At the end of this topic, you will understand about the major agricultural types in the world. You will also learn about subsistence agriculture. You will analyze commercial agriculture and its subtypes. And you will also get to know about the distribution of major crops in the world. So let us see the classification of agriculture. So different criteria are used to classify agriculture into different types. On the basis of expansion of land, how much land is brought under cultivation, what is the size of the land. It is divided into intensive agriculture and extensive agriculture. Then on the basis of availability of water, it is divided into humid farming, irrigated farming, dry farming. Then on the basis of cropping pattern, it is divided into monoculture, which is single crop agriculture, duoculture, which is double crop agriculture, and oligoculture, which is multiple crop agriculture. Then, on the basis of seasonal variations, according to the seasonal changes, winter crop agriculture, summer crop agriculture, and autumn crop agriculture. Then, on the basis of volume of production and their nature, simple subsistence agriculture, intensive subsistence agriculture, commercial grain farming, and plantation agriculture. The sixth classification is on the basis of the social system. We come across capitalistic, socialistic, and feudalistic agriculture. Then, on the basis of ownership of land, collective state farming, cooperative farming, individual farming. And on the basis of regional characteristics, monsoon type of agriculture, Mediterranean agriculture, mixed farming of Northwest Europe, and tropical and subtropical plantation agriculture. Now let us discuss in detail about subsistence agriculture and its subtypes. So subsistence agriculture is a kind of agriculture where a plot of land produces food which is sufficient to feed the family of the farmer or maybe a small community. So it is a type of farming system which is intended to provide a self-sufficient lifestyle for the farmer and the farmer's family. And the word subsistence itself makes it very clear that the farm produce is not sold in the market. So these are the four types of subsistence farming. We come across primitive or simple subsistence farming, sedentary subsistence agriculture, nomadic herding, and intensive subsistence farming. Now, primitive or simple subsistence farming is also known by the name shifting cultivation, which is mostly practiced by the tribal groups located in the tropical areas, especially in Africa, in tropical South America, and in Southeast Asia. So, what they do is they just clear a patch of the forest. Either they cut the trees or they burn the forest and use very primitive or crude tools of farming. There is no use of animals for cultivation because the size of the farm is very small, and mostly crops like tapioca, yams, corn, millet, etc. are cultivated for a very short period. Now, as they are not making use of any fertilizers or any pesticides as such, the yield is also limited. Similarly, in order to allow the soil to regain its natural fertility, very long periods of fallowing that is keeping the land vacant without any crop, are followed. And the soil automatically will be exhausted of nutrients. There can be attacked by insects, pests, diseases, or wild animals, and therefore, this form of agriculture is a migratory type of agriculture. The group of tribes have to shift from one part of the forest to another in order to cultivate land. Now, this does put pressure on the forest resources because every time a new patch of forest is cleared, and therefore we lose out on very important forest resources. So, various efforts have been made by the local governments to resettle these tribes. So, whether we can give them permanent land for cultivation and train them as farmers. So, these options are worked out. Then we come across the second type, that is the sedentary subsistence agriculture. Now, it is a more advanced form of subsistence farming, which is also found in the tropical lowlands. It has comparatively better ability to sustain a larger population on a permanent basis. Now, here more intensive methods of farming are used, more use of farm labor, slightly better crude hand tools, and animals are also used for cultivation. So, animals like buffaloes, horses, etc., they are used both for milk and other animal products, and they are also used to work on the farms. Then we come across nomadic herding, which is also known as nomadic pastoralism, where raising of animals in the areas that are generally not suitable for cultivation of crops, it is done. Now, animal rearing is done for milk, flesh, and other animal products, although now we see that this type of agriculture is declining. However, it is still seen practiced in Northern Africa, Central Asia, including Mongolia, and in some of the mountain environments like the Alps of Europe or the mountains of New Zealand. So, sheep, goats, they are taken to the alpine pastures for the summer, but later on they return to the valleys in winter. Then we come across intensive subsistence agriculture, which is also known as Oriental agriculture, and is mainly practiced in the densely populated areas of monsoon Asia in countries like India, China, Korea, etc. Now, large amount of produce is generated from a relatively small area of land with high inputs to achieve a higher yield per hectare. So, intensive cultivation means land is intensively cultivated, no area is left free. There is more use of farm labor as these are heavily populated societies, less use of farm machinery because most of the work is done by the labor. And in some areas, we find that use of fertilizers and irrigation facilities is done. Mostly, the crop cultivated is paddy or rice, along with wheat, millets, soya bean, etc. And in recent times, there has been a slight change where it is becoming more commercial and hence more use of sophisticated machines, fertilizers, irrigation, etc. is being done in this type of farming. Moving on to the commercial agriculture. So, the word commercial itself tells us that it is a kind of industrialized agriculture where there is large scale production of crops and livestock by making use of industrial techniques. So, this is a market oriented kind of agriculture where the aim is to increase the farm produce and hence huge capital investment is required. Size of the farms is much larger. Labor force is skilled to work on the farms. They heavily use farm machinery, and as it is commercialized, as it is more profit oriented, the cropping is done throughout the year. There is Greater emphasis on cultivation of cash crops like wheat, maize, tea, coffee, sugarcane, rubber, banana, etc. And mostly these products are harvested for sale in the markets at different levels. Now we come to the types of commercial agriculture, where we come across mixed crop and livestock. So the name itself suggests that it is a combination of commercial farming and animal rearing. Then we have dairy farming, where cattle rearing is done extensively for the sale of milk in the market. Mostly fodder is cultivated, which is used to feed the cattle. And these farms are located close to the markets because we know that milk and milk products are highly perishable, so they have to reach the market on time. Mediterranean agriculture. So the name itself suggests that it is connected with the Mediterranean climate region, which receives rainfall in winter and the summers are dry. So crops like wheat, olives, grapes, etc. are produced here, and animals like sheep and goats that are capable of tolerating the dry season are preferred. Then commercial grain farming, where single crop like wheat, barley, corn, etc. is cultivated, and these farms gain profits with economies of scale by growing single crop with the help of machinery to plow the land, plant, fertilize, and harvest. So at every level of farming activity, there is heavy use of machinery. Then commercial gardening, which is also known as truck farming, where cash crops like fruits, vegetables, flowers are cultivated. And in areas where cold climate is experienced, greenhouses are used so that crops which are grown mostly in the warmer type of climate, they also can be cultivated, because greenhouse gives the advantage where it will absorb solar radiation and increase the temperature inside the greenhouse. So these crops from the warmer climatic belts also can be cultivated. Then we come across livestock ranching. It refers to the raising of domesticated animals like cattle, sheep, goats, etc. on a commercial scale. And this rearing is done mostly for the flesh of the animals, the skin of the animals, etc. Now, what is a ranch? It is nothing but a huge land area where fodder for animals is cultivated. Mostly in the American continent, West America mostly, these ranches are found. Then we have plantation farming, which refers to cultivation of cash crops like tea, coffee, sugarcane, spices, etc. over a huge land area. And this form of agriculture was introduced during the phase of colonization in Africa, Asia, and South America. So these crops are cultivated for export and profit, and it involves a lot of capital investment. Both manual and skilled labor is required. There is a use of machinery, agrochemicals, irrigation, and drainage schemes. Now, coming to the distribution of major crops in the world, we know that over the years, humans have transformed the surface of the planet through agricultural activities. And today, around 12% of the land surface is cultivated, is used for cultivation, and about 22% is used for pastures. So we come across these varieties. We have cereal crops consisting of rice, wheat, maize, etc. Then we have roots and tubers consisting of potatoes and cassava. Then we have sugar crops consisting of sugar beets and sugar cane, pulses of various varieties, dry beans, dry peas, etc. Oil bearing crops like soya bean, groundnut, sunflower, etc. Fiber and non food crop like cotton. And we have minor group of crops consisting of fruits, other oil bearing crops, etc. Now, looking at the distribution of cereal crops, Wheat is the most abundant crop grown in the areas of temperate climate in both the hemispheres, and it occupies around 22% of the total cultivated area in the world. Then rice, it dominates the tropical and subtropical belt, especially in the northern hemisphere, and it is the second most extensive crop in the world. It is a major crop of South and Southeast Asia and occupies around 11% of the global cultivated area. Maize is the third crop in rank and is cultivated over 13% of the world's cropland, located between 50° north to 45° south latitudes. And its highest cultivation intensity is in the US, the maize belt of US, northeastern China, then along the Rift Valley in Africa and in Eastern Europe. We have barley and rye. Barley is the crop with fourth largest area, occupying 9% of the world's cropland, while rye is cultivated over 2% of the world's cropland. So these are grown in colder latitude in Canada, northern USA, and European Russia. Sorghum occupies 3% of the global cultivated area and is the only cereal that does not emerge as a dominant crop in any region, although it is common throughout the Rift Valley and the Sahel region in Africa. Similarly, it is cultivated in southern half of the Mississippi Valley and in India. Millets occupy 2% of the global cultivated area and they are mostly cultivated in the Rift Valley, the Sahel region of Africa, and in some parts of Asia. In Western India, it is most abundantly cultivated. It is also very important part of Indian food culture. Roots and tubers, consisting of potatoes and cassava, together cover 4% of the world's total harvested area. Potatoes are extensively grown in the colder climatic belt in the temperate latitudes, while cassava is grown in the equatorial and tropical regions, mostly in northern Brazil, South Central Africa, Thailand, Micronesia, and Polynesia. Sugar beets and sugarcane, they both produce sugar. Sugar beets are cultivated in the temperate latitude, mostly in Europe and European part of Russia, while sugarcane is a tropical crop cultivated in the Caribbean region, Florida, Central and South America, India, and other parts of South Asia. Pulses consisting of beans, peas, lentils, etc. These are again cultivated in the warm climatic belt. Most intense cultivation is done around 25° north latitude and they occupy 4% of the cultivated land on the global scale. Then oil bearing crops like soybeans, groundnuts, sunflower, etc. They are grown over 10% of the cropland on a global scale. Soybeans and sunflower are cultivated in the temperate latitude. Groundnuts and oil palm fruit are cultivated in the equatorial and tropical latitudes. Then cotton, which is a major fiber and a non-food crop, is cultivated over 3% of the cropland, mostly around 30° north latitude. So countries like USA, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, where cotton is a major agricultural commodity, and also in India and Pakistan. Similarly, we also find smaller areas of cotton cultivation in southern South America, southern part of Africa, and in Australia. Fruit, they occupy more than 3% of the world's cropland. We have other oil-bearing crops like coconut, olives, safflower, sesame, etc. Cereals like oats, mixed grain, other crops like coffee, tobacco, cocoa. Together, they occupy slightly less than 3% of the world's cropland. Vegetables and other roots and tuber nuts, spices, each take up less than 2% of the world's cropland area. So in this topic, we have discussed about agriculture and classification of agriculture. What is subsistence agriculture? What are the different types of subsistence agriculture? what is commercial agriculture, what are its subtypes and their characteristics. And we have also had a brief discussion on distribution of major crops in the world. For further queries, please refer to the study material provided by IDOL, University of Mumbai. You can also check your progress through the question answers that are mentioned at the end of the topic in the study material. Thank you.